Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
He's threatened to kill you both.
Yes.
Tyrannical teens.
You say you worry that he could be the next school shooter.
Is this extreme behavior?
She's smoking pot and having sex. Nicole is 15.
From a failure to parent?
She's leaving at 11:30 at night and going off in a car with someone you don't know. Seriously? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've hurt long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
5, 4.
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Go, Dr. Phil.
How you doing? Hey, guys. How are you? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, first off, I want you all to take a look at this.
Get out of my face now. Stop.
Imagine living with that every single day of your life, walking on eggshells, not knowing how to defuse it, not feeling safe in your own home. Now, Lavina and her husband, Josh, know exactly what I'm talking about. They say their son is out of control, but they have no idea why. That's the young man you just saw. Here's their story.
My son Trevor, he is out of control and he desperately needs help. He gets angry and violent and tries to hurt us. Anytime he gets really angry, it always goes straight to the violence.
He yells, screams, hits. He told me that he was going to kill me.
He's been making death threats for 4 or 5 years.
Trevor has threatened Lavina a few times.
Go ahead, Trevor. I'll be sure to please get your hand off of it now. I'm having the police come.
The first time I called the police about Trevor, a girl's father said he didn't want Trevor to text his daughter anymore. And Trevor threatened to kill the girl's father, hurt us.
Now, your brothers are here. Calm down. The police are coming to get you.
There was a second occasion where we called the police because we asked Trevor to brush his teeth. He decides to let me use my knee to open the door. Obviously, a lot of anger and aggression.
The third time I called the police, his paternal grandfather had taken away a little handheld device from him at my request, and he became very aggressive and violent.
The fourth time we called the police was after Trevor had asked to go to a girl's house when their parents weren't going to be home, so of course we denied it. This is where Trevor had pushed his mother into the wall and punched his door. He's kicked the door.
He is constantly talking about guns and knives, and violence is his answer to everything. If I say, oh wow, that woman just cut me off, you should shoot her. Because of his fixation on guns and knives and violence, I'm worried that someday if someone doesn't help him, he is gonna be the next Adam Lanza. The first time I took Trevor to a psychologist, he was over a year old. Even as a toddler, we had such a difficult time with him. The next time I took Trevor to a counselor, he was a little over 3.5 years old. They said that Trevor had some sort of adjustment mood disorder. They recommended putting him on some sort of psychotropic medication. When he was 3 years old, I wasn't gonna medicate him. Trevor's behaviors definitely got worse as he got older. It was no longer just tantrums anymore. It was violent. We have taken him to see around 12 psychologists, psychiatrists, alternative medicine, doctors, but nothing or nobody has been able to help him. As he got older, it was constant, frequent. Every time he got angry, he was threatening to kill someone. I think I spent a lot of years in denial.
There were times where he did play rough with the twins. I have fears that I would come home and find my family harmed.
I love that even with all his troubles, he's still he can be such a sweet boy. How's your snack? Trevor's always gonna be my baby. He's always gonna be my little boy. All I want is someone to help me with Trevor. Just please tell me. Tell me what we're missing and what we can do.
Okay. You recognize that Trevor is way out of control, and you actually fear for your lives?
At times, yes.
Yes, when he gets angry, he is no longer, it's like he's a completely different person.
Right.
I don't know what he's capable of when he gets angry.
Do you fear that he could kill you?
Yeah, honestly, yes. There are times he gets so angry, I think he could.
You have a set of twins.
Yes.
And you fear for them.
Yes, I do.
Has he made specific threats towards killing you, towards killing the children?
He's never said anything about the boys. I know he's made threats to me. He's made threats to his mother, but never specifically.
And
the
you're
boys.
the stepfather here.
Correct.
But he's threatened to kill you both.
Yes.
Okay. You found it hard to answer that question when I asked you that. Is that hard for a mother to say?
It's hard to say that your own child says that he wants to kill you, he wants you dead. It's not something you're proud to admit.
He's been since age 1. You took him to a psychologist. At age 3 to another therapist and to a psychiatrist. It's just gone on and on, doctor after doctor. Yet it's gotten worse, not better.
Correct. He doesn't want to get better. He doesn't think there's anything
But out
wrong.
of all of these people, nobody has ever said anything to you that gave you clarity or a plan you could follow.
No, we always feel like almost everyone has given up. They just say he's such a complex case and we've tried everything we can think of, but then they don't say, well, let's try this or let's go somewhere else.
You say we've done everything, but the truth is you've really not done consistently and persistently one single thing that you've ever been asked to do by a therapist. Would you agree with that?
I wouldn't say that we don't consistently. I think we've
Really?
tried, but I feel like we've given
in
up.
fact, you used those specific words. You said he's been on Focalin, he has been on Abilify, he's been on Lexapro, and you said that you admit you were inconsistent in using the medications and did not persist in using them across time. So that's two different things. You were inconsistent while you used them, on again, off again, and did not persist across time in using them. Take another look at the home video Lavina recorded.
Get out of my face now. He didn't touch you, so you need to stop now. No, it didn't. He didn't touch you. You need to stop. That's enough. No! I didn't do anything to you, so you have no reason to do this. Well, just that's not a reason to take it out on me. No, he didn't. Stop. Stop it now. Your brothers are here. Calm down. The police are coming to get you. You need to stop. I said stop. Stop it now. Now. Stop.
It is a complex situation. We have to take a break. Up next, can Trevor control his anger, but just simply refuses to? Or is he simply unable to contain this rage? I want to talk more about that when we come back. Plus, I want to talk to Trevor himself, and we'll do that coming up soon.
Living with Trevor is like always walking on eggshells, never knowing what to expect.
He pissed you down.
I worry a lot that Trevor might try to buy a gun or a knife.
Tomorrow on Dr. Phil.
How long since you've seen your children?
Over 5 years.
Is this mom's behavior
She's thrown her hot tea on me. She just gets angry.
driving her entire family away?
Listen, I'm going to conduct an interview here, and I'm sorry if you don't like the questions. You don't really want to hear any of this, do you?
I think it needs to be heard with a therapist because this is delusional.
Yeah, let's get somebody out here that knows what they're doing.
That's tomorrow.
A lot goes through your mind when you physically have to restrain your child. Restraining him is emotionally draining. When he has these episodes, I have to match his aggression as far as strength goes, otherwise he'll overpower me. I feel like I'm living with a wild animal. It's just very unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen next.
Well, Lavina says Trevor's seemingly uncontrollable rages have only gotten worse over time. And now they're so bad, and he's gotten so big that they fear he might seriously hurt himself or someone else. And with that kind of rage, it could happen even by accident, right? And that's the danger here, which is, that's the issue with the restraint, correct?
Correct.
Now, Trevor's psychologist, a very fine professional, Dr. Rick McNeese, and one of his associate therapists, Kiki Hackenstead, from First Step, are joining us via Polycom today. Dr. McNeese, Kiki, thank you so much for joining us today. What can you've been hearing our conversation here, and you have studied this history in great detail, as have we. What can you add to the situation, and what is your best assessment of what's going on at this point?
Well, my thoughts, much like you said earlier, is this is a very complicated young man, and yet atypical. While we're seeing some very violent kind of films here, he actually has done well in other situations. Is not the typical kind of antisocial kid that loses his temper at school, around peers. Not that he hasn't had some episodes, but not so severe. So it's a very sketchy kind of out-of-control behavior, mostly in the home. But this is not something that he chooses to do, in my estimation.
Well, Josh, you say when he's with you that you don't have this problem when it's just one-on-one.
Yeah, there's been a number of occasions where he and I will go out and do things together, or even at the house. He's more compliant with me, asking him to take his medications as opposed to his mother. I've taken him out for full days to different events and things like that, and he showed no signs of that aggression or anger coming out. Again, I don't know if it's, again, being around peers, people his own age, and doesn't want to be embarrassed. But, I mean, like I said, it seems that at times that there is that sort of control.
Yeah. Well, that is a hopeful sign, and as Dr. McNeese says, that doesn't mean that it's not involuntary, but it may not be triggered at certain times. But that is hopeful that he does at least have within the range of his behaviors to interact in a more appropriate way. Kiki, you've been doing some work with him. What's your takeaway from the time you're spending with him?
I just feel like he can control his behavior in certain situations. And per the video, that's his voice, that's his face. Mom is not making this stuff up. So if he can't develop empathy at this level from seeing himself on TV, then perhaps if he does go to jail because he hurts a family member, then at the very least, if he can develop, or have, or be selfish about the fact that he has to wear somebody else's underwear because they recycle clothing, tennis shoes, socks, all that kind of stuff there, that at least on a selfish basis, he can control his behavior because he doesn't want to go to jail, because that would be disgusting to have to wear somebody else's underwear and shoes.
Sure. We have a rule here at the Dr. Phil Show, Lavina and Josh. We never agree to have a guest on the show if they're currently in therapy with a professional, unless and until we have that professional's permission to book them, because we don't ever want to intrude or disrupt a therapeutic process. And we went through that process here with the folks that are working with them now, and they've agreed to that, of course, or we wouldn't be here, and they wouldn't be here. And I would like to go back and meet Trevor and talk with him, with y'all's permission as parents, to do that. I might choose to play back some of his behavior that you've shot, which he hasn't seen, and see what his reaction to that is. I'll talk with Trevor when we come back.